The Really podcast is intended for entertainment purposes only. The views, information, opinions, and beliefs expressed in the Really podcast are solely those of its host, Reverend A.D. Black, and his guests, and do not necessarily represent the views, opinions, and beliefs of the Really podcast production team, sponsors, or affiliates. Any advertising incorporated into, reproduction, distribution, editing, or modification of this podcast without the expressed written approval of the Really Podcast host is strictly prohibited. Reverend A.D. Black assumes no liability for any unauthorized activities in connection with the use of this podcast.
Good morning, all you fans of the podcast, really. Today we have something really special. A young lady by the name of Miss Lloyd Thomas. She is the host and producer of The Other Side. She does a host of other things to do. We're going to let her introduce you to them. Stay tuned. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Really, the podcast where we ask the questions and we get in depth about it because really, you didn't think we were just going to take your word for it. So look here. Amen. Today we have Miss Lloyd Thomas is the host and producer of The Other Side, a public affairs talk show airing on WFHW 90.3 FM. Amen. So Miss Lloyd, inquiring minds want to know, what exactly is The Other Side?
So the other side originally the other side was The Other Side, Welcome to the Resistance. And so it is a show that in these tough political times, I wanted to have a voice for those who needed to resist, who wanted to find ways to, come from under this. So, and when I say trying political times, this lean into this authoritarian world. And so as production started and before we launched, I decided to take off Welcome to the Resistance because I didn't want to just be pigeonholed into this few years.
Amen.
I wanted to make sure that I was looking at the other side of any topic. So if we're looking at AI, artificial intelligence. What's the other side of that? So we've done shows that talk about the data centers. What does it take to get these rolling? I've had shows about the other side of Generation X, which is the Generation Z. So I've had conversations with people within that age group, within that generation, to talk about what can we do to help you in this moment. And so it's just giving a different perspective. So the tagline is there's two sides to every story, but then there's the other side.
Now, Miss Lloyd, that's where I try to teach people the difference between men and women. Now, what you just explained about the other side, the resistance to political climate, the resistance, you put the other side. See, men, we're not that sweet. Ours would have been the takeover. We'd have been right at it. All that fluff stuff. No, my part would have been the takeover. That's why everybody, men and women, need each other because
Yes,
we would have
absolutely.
So you that Black, come in, let me reel you in. You might not want to go there. And I'd have been sitting here with a pistol and my teeth. Fantastic. Thank you so much. I love when we can do things like this, show how women and men really need each other, how they balance each other out. Okay.
Can I just want to say one more thing about the other? So the radio station is WFHW, which stands for Find the Harriet Within. Harriet being Harriet Tubman. The show airs in Cambridge, Maryland, which is Dorchester County, where Harriet Tubman was born. So the radio station in and of itself is the foundation is built on the principles of being able to resist, being able to overcome. So we often ask ourselves when we are feeling like overwhelmed, well, what would Harriet do? So in this moment, just having the station is also kind of a takeover because this area in and of itself, although it is a majority minority area, a lot of the things are not owned by folks who look like us. So
Right.
that moment, this moment is sort of like a takeover. But sometimes you just gotta smile as you're doing the resistance work.
Now, Ms. Thomas, when you started it, did you know what you just explained to us about the Harriet Tubman piece and the radio station being there? Were you aware of that? And we,
Absolutely. So that
okay,
that was the foundation of the station. So I didn't start it. I'm a part of the team. There's a group of folks who this was their passion. I happened to move to Dorchester County. This is where I'm going to retire at some point, and so
yes,
wanted to
ma'am.
build community. And I think the divine intervention in this is that my soul was at a low point because I felt like this United States was not in our favor being Black folks. And so before I moved here, I felt like, it was us against them. What I have found is that there is pockets of people who are like John Brown from our
Amen.
history, who will stand in the gap, who will step up. And had I not come to this area, I probably would have been much more bitter, much more angry, and not in this position of, we just got to keep moving. We have to, what would Harriet do? I would have been in the takeover mode.
Oh man, Miss Thomas, that's a book. That's a book right there. What you just told me. Jesus Christ, that is fantastic. Okay, I got stuff marked down here. Okay, now in spring of 2027 come up, so I know you're busy. You will launch Women Wellness and Weekends. Tell us about that.
So the Women Wellness Weekend is my way of bringing women tools for the toolbox for us to survive. So recently I was thinking, where have I been safe? Where have I ever felt just safe? And I have felt the most safe when I'm around women, when I'm around people who share my same background, who share my same gender, who understand what it takes that we could just finally just like let our hair down. But a
Yes,
lot
ma'am.
of us are suffering. We're suffering because we take on way too much, that we put ourselves absolutely last, that we will do for everybody and their mama before we do for ourselves. And so this is a way for us to have some time for ourselves, but also not just to have a weekend away, but to come back home with tools. So you'll know how to make a plant-based meal if you are looking to um, eat healthy. You'll take some yoga and learn some meditation methods. So you'll learn how to stretch and relax and be able to come at and calm yourself, breathing techniques. You'll be able to make some mocktails, so you're not putting all that poison in your body, but you want to act like you got something. You want to look grown, right? But you have a mocktail. And then another part of healing is gardening. So being able, and especially in these times, this is a very timely moment to learn some gardening because the food is, you every day we hear, or every week at least, we hear of something that has gone awry and I mean, when the lettuce went bad, I'm like, okay, it's time to do a garden. So you come with a gardening tip. So all of these are partnering with uh, already established organizations and places within this community in Dorchester. So it's my way of actually getting people to come out to Cambridge, Maryland, so they can see how beautiful it is
Amen.
and to build this community. Because when I retire, I want people here who, we can go listen to some go-go music together. We can have some crabs together that
Oh yeah.
it's some stuff that we will bring, we'll have a collective understanding for the future. So that is what the Women's World, and also partnering with the Harriet Tubman Museum, who they do walks. So you can walk in the walk with Harriet. So there you would walk the area of Cambridge and see the sights and also learn the history. So when you go home, you will have not just the experience, but you also have these tools that you can continue to use and take that time for yourself.
Now I must admit, uh, I've met a lot of young ladies that aspire or have the same purpose and drive that you do in terms of empowering women. What I don't get is a balance.
Mm,
Um, that because I was explaining, I teach Bible study for my church on Fridays at Joy and Noonan. Yesterday we were discussing, and I was just telling them about because I've been at Metro so long, I'm always watching traffic,
mm,
and you see when I see a lot of young ladies in their cars, they're in there alone. And when I look over at them, they are really stressed. On their
mm.
face, they're saying, I am trying to keep my husband happy. I'm trying to do for my children, and
Yes,
I'm trying to keep my home up. That's
yes,
a lot.
it
That's
is a
a
lot.
lot on a woman, and you can see it on their face. Now, most women, I believe, are being pushed into those roles. Again, let me give you another example. I have a Wawa near where I live. And when I get off from work late, when I come home, it's 12, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Mm,
And these ladies have Teslas, and they're charging their Teslas
mm,
at 1 and 2 in the morning by
mm,
themselves. A woman
mm.
shouldn't be out there at 1 and 2 in the morning charging for
All
Tesla.
that.
There are a lot of things that get in. Now, on the other hand, I deal with the brothers who have not stepped up. I definitely
Yes,
deal with those who
yes.
have not. I have no tolerance for a husband who does not keep his cell phone almost in his neck. Why? Because if there's an emergency, the wife is going to call you. If
First.
there's an emergency, the children are to call you.
Yeah,
You cannot miss those phone calls.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I just have no tolerance for guys because you're supposed to solve it. You're supposed to be there to give some guidance, and your phone is you left it over here and you left it over there. Well, you're not doing your role as a husband and a father. But I do believe a lot of women have been pushed in to old. Matter of fact, we was explaining, I think it's Proverbs 31, the good wife, and I was
Mhm.
explaining to them how she worked out. She worked, but she worked from the home.
Yes.
And I said, have you noticed that God is pushing women back to the home, even with their jobs? A lot of you guys are now having a lot of days where you can work from home.
And when we are working from home, we are multitasking. We are doing
Yes,
it. It is
Lord.
it is the best opportunity for us to knock out all those to-dos.
Yeah.
But a lot of us, so you're absolutely right. The stress is on our faces. We are doing the things that because we have to.
Yes, ma'am.
And and it's not, I grew up with a grandmother. My grandmother raised me, my father's mother. And seeing her with her friends. This is what it's not new to me. This is what I see. I've seen this as, the prototype. These are the women who kept the lights on, who made sure that, everything went right at the church. We used to walk to church. It was on my corner. And all these women would be there in the morning, making sure that everything was cleaned up, that if it was communion, the communion stuff was done. They were counting the money. They were doing everything. So I
Yes,
never
ma'am.
felt like I couldn't do anything. But at the same time, these were the most loving women with their spouses and also with their male friends, those who had been divorced. They were still women. they weren't bitter. They weren't the ones who are being like how we're being pinned against each other now, where, it's like you have these podcasts where men are talking about women, women are talking about men. That wasn't the norm. The norm for me, or what I grew up was, everybody has a role to play, and sometimes that role is outsized, but you have to make sure that you put in that time for yourself.
Now, Miss Thomas, what I believe we're talking about is balance.
Yes, yes,
And
sir.
anywhere in life, you have got to find balance.
Yes,
My doctors always tell me about losing weight. I gotta lose weight. I gotta lose weight. And I be talking about nutrition. I done got in nutrition and exercise. They say, Mr. Black, it's balance. You gotta get enough sleep too.
yeah.
You can't be up all hours of the night. So it's a three-prong experience there to live long. You got to eat healthy, you got to exercise, you got to sleep. And
Yeah.
so um with this and what you're doing, definitely I applaud you. I was raised by all women, so my slant is there. But like they don't seem this generation, like with the boss. Okay, the boss chick. You in charge of what you in charge. But you got to also you can't boss everything. You gotta find balance. You gotta come
Absolutely.
home and you gotta nobody wants I don't care what they say and how in shape, no man wants a hard woman. He just doesn't.
And
And
no
no
woman
woman
wants to
wants a
be hard.
soft man.
But no woman wants to be hard, and no man wants to be soft. I think there are ways that we can get beyond this, the way we're being titled and the way we're being kind of socialized, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But I think too, it takes my generation, like when I said the other side of Generation X is that Gen Z, they're asking for help. They want us to help guide. We have to be able to step in and say, all right, here is some other ways to do this. Yes, the people who are the entertainers or the folks who you see in the limelight, this is what they're projecting. But if you went to their home, I'm sure they're not like what they're saying they are
Right.
in their entertainment world. So it takes all of us, like that whole thing about a village, that is not a lie. It takes
Yes,
all
ma'am.
of us,
It really does.
to make sure that,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you are on point with that. There's a piece, my last podcast. Hopefully, Patrice will get it to you. We had a young lady on who they have a program that encourages women to start their own business and give them money. You
I
got to
love
see
it.
this. She was
I
fantastic.
love it. Yes.
Yeah, she it's a DC, Maryland, and Virginia program, and it was just a good program. It's called Life Asset. The team is they know I'm old, so they holding a place card trying to help. I really have a good team. So the company is called Life Asset. It is the young lady came on there. I happened to meet her at the Ward 7 and 8 prayer breakfast and down in DC. And she's just a fantastic. She's fantastic. You really would want to see that and may want her on your show because
Oh,
I mean, for
absolutely.
women and giving away money, they teach you the finances. They teach you how to get credit. Oh man, it was just it was a fantastic interview. So now, what are you doing? What are you doing now? What's on the table before you launch Women Wellness and weekends? Anything right now that we're doing?
So right now I am continuing with I work full time, so that the
Okay.
work thing comes
From
first.
home sometimes?
Yeah, from home sometimes. But I also am interviewing, and so like tomorrow I have two different shows that I will tape and then edit and so forth. And then I have another one set at the end of August. So it's just kind of balancing this right now and continuing to build these partnerships to launch. I'm going to do a pilot session first for the Women's Wellness Weekend, and then, make sharpen it a bit before we launch. So that has been my focus. I am a mother. I am a wife. We just celebrated 27 years together in
Congratulations.
July. Thank you. And
Congratulations.
we have three sons. And so if there's a lot of hats you wear,
Yes,
um,
ma'am.
and becoming an entrepreneur, becoming a business person, for a lot of us is a dream deferred, right? So, this was something that I had wanted to do for years, but my thing is I've always had to put family and,
Yeah.
children and finances, all that first. So when you mentioned the group that is assisting, that's awesome because a lot of us just don't know. And it is so nice to have people to help you along this path so you don't have to go and reinvent this wheel that's working, right? And get that support. So that's actually very nice. I love to hear that.
I, I must admit, I've been blessed in that manner. From everything. I mean, I even have a women's seminar that I do
Oh, nice.
called "Woman in the Power of Persuasion." And the way with that seminar is, I believe, if women would persuade their women, if women would persuade their men in the ways of the Lord, they would get whatever they want without asking, because there's not a king that doesn't want his queen to have everything that she wants. And so we teach that the seminar based on that. We have one for men called Men in Their Broken Relationships, because unfortunately men have a lot of broke. I haven't spoke to my father in 20 years. I haven't spoke to my son in
Yeah.
20 years. And so I have both of those seminars going up. But this is fantastic to see what you are doing and how you are doing. What do you hope? No, the next question is: do you speak? Do you have engagements? Do you come out and speak at different forums with this?
I don't. And that's not something that I have. Um, I haven't. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but it's not something that I've done.
Okay.
So yeah, that it's so funny because sometimes you don't see what your gifts are. And I sometimes I've been told, Laura, you're such a great storyteller. Or, recently at work, I was telling one of my coworkers how I get up in the morning, 5:30, and I take care of me first. So I'll go ride my bike for 9 or 10 miles, or I'll go to the gym or to the yoga studio, and I'll put in an hour. I said, then I can give Metro or give wherever else
Right.
my time because I feel like I've done 100% for me. And I mentioned that to this young man, and he came to me the other day and said, "Hey, you inspired me. Guess what I've been doing now? I've been getting up at 4:30. I go and take care of myself first." So you
Yeah.
don't even know sometimes in these casual conversations how you can inspire or spark something into someone. That's not something I see as what I would just do normally, but who knows?
Right. Yeah, 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 yeah. With what you're getting, because believe me, the more you may not be getting it now because you're behind the mic and people see you in that vein,
Yeah.
but trust me, if you're out with the ladies, y'all down in Cambridge and you speaking, people are gonna start, will you come to my women's group? Will you come to my church? Will you come speak? That will come. That will come when you're out from behind the
Yes,
mic, because they figure, okay,
absolutely.
she's back there and I can't get to her, but I can get to her at the coffee shop. She's there every day. She's
Yeah.
riding the bike. I see her ride. I'll just jump in front of her bike and stop her. So
Yes, yes.
yeah, that will be something, something that will come out. That part that you talking about, the women at the church, that I wish more people could see that, more generations could see that, because that really does teach a lot.
Oh, Agadia. Yes.
Um, with what Tuskegee is going, the college is going through now with they don't want them to, what are those bandits or
Oh, the
bonnets?
bonnets. Yes.
Yeah,
The
and
bonnets and
yeah, and
rags. Yeah.
they then and I'm like, okay, I'm all for that. And so they're just some things. I remember a young man being on my bus. I was out East Falls Church, and he was going for an interview. He was late. He was already late for the interview. He got messed up on the bus route, and he had on a white shirt, and he all down his sleeves. He had all on. He was really tatted up, and he was going to a law firm. And I said, "Let me tell you something, young man. It's not anything wrong with your taxes. That's what you. But you." He was calling him. I said, "Call him and ask him, can you reschedule because you're late." And he called him, and they said he rescheduled. I said, "Then tomorrow you wear a white shirt, long sleeve, and
Long
at the
sleeve,
top
yeah.
you button that." I said, because when you go into their setting, remember they're hiring you and they're paying you. When you get home, you put on a you put on a the t-shirt or whatever you want to put on. But sometimes we have to look the part and we have to know where we're going and what the expectation of us is. And I just believe everything is a relationship. And when you abuse a relationship, it abuses you back. You don't have to put gas in your car or change your oil, but you watch and see what happened. And,
You're
and
gonna
so,
you're gonna feel it. But
yeah, yeah, you are.
piggybacking on what you were saying about the young man and not being prepared, right? A lot of that is um, sometimes people just don't know,
Yeah,
right? And
no, right.
so there used to be when Metro used to have the headquarters down at JGB, Jackson Graham Building, right there across from the
600.
Verizon, yeah, 600 F Street.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, there was the summer youth program where the hiring summer jobs program, and they had a line of kids waiting to go in, and this was about 10 years ago, and I just saw them in summer outfits, like they were going to the beach almost or to a cookout. And it hit me because I said that's my failure because we should be teaching them.
Yes,
There
ma'am.
should be a whole kind of dress for success program.
Amen.
We should not allow that. So going back to the whole thing about community, we should not even be allowing that to happen. That if we know that the summer jobs program is coming up, we should be giving seminars at the schools to say, hey, some of y'all about to apply. This is how you need to be when you go, just to give them like the Women's Wellness Weekend, the tools for the toolbox. So
Yeah.
it's easy for us to sit back. A lot of us sit back and criticize and sit back and we get behind our keyboards and we get behind and say make these comments. But my question is always, well, what are you doing? How are you
Right.
doing? What are you doing to make a difference? Because if you know right and wrong, then it should be up to you to go and help some of these kids. So yes, so I'm glad you stood in the gap for that young man
Yeah,
and
yeah.
explain.
He
Yeah,
he just didn't know, and it was at a prestigious law firm out Tyson's, and
yeah,
I hope that the young man got the job. But to piggyback on what you were saying, as far as politics, well, I didn't vote. Well, Doc, I don't want to hear nothing you got to say.
yeah.
You
That's
want
the end of,
to
that's the
say,
end of the conversation. Yeah,
yeah,
because
yeah.
yes,
Okay, so
no vote is a vote. You voted for
yeah,
the other
yeah,
side.
you
Yes,
yeah, you can't
yeah,
complain about something you weren't willing to participate in. No, you
yeah,
you not with me anyway. You talked to the guy behind me. So
right.
I thank you. They're raising up. They're looking at the time. Okay, so Miss Lloyd, no. I just they haven't counted down. They got a way of putting up their fingers and stuff when
Yes, you
to
got
get
a
out of
great
here.
staff.
I
Great
really do.
producer.
And they
Yeah.
know that I am limited. I always tell them that I actually I'm a preacher. But to tell you how confused I was, Miss Lloyd, when God told me he wanted me to speak for him, I went into political science. I thought he wanted me to be a lawyer.
Yes, sir.
It took me a while for him to say, no, crazy, I need you over here. So I get a lot of things wrong in life, and he gives me good people around me.
Yeah,
That has been my blessing, Lord.
that is
Whenever he
good.
has given me something, I mean, from the podcast to any seminars to my radio show, he has surrounded me with great people, and I really didn't have to go look for them. They came to me. And so
That's good.
that is confirmation that he wants me to do it because he always send the people because I mean, you would have been waiting forever here if my team wasn't here for me to find the on button for this laptop. And the thing is, Miss Lloyd, I don't even, they say that's bad. I don't even want to know. I stay in my lane. I preach and I teach. I stay in my lane. And
And that's
so
why you got good folks around you. You know,
I,
look, we all know what we good at. And
yes, yes, Lord, yes, Lord. Miss Lord, it is, first of all, thank you for doing my show. A while back, you came on and you did my show. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. When you had me on your show, and
yes, we did the other side of the
yes,
holidays, and we dealt
yeah,
with,
yeah.
depression and the sadness around. But you didn't. We didn't even focus on that. Your whole spirit was so full, so big. It was a really good show. So I do want to thank you for that opportunity to get your wisdom during that show. So I
Yeah.
appreciate
No, you're welcome, Ms. Thomas. So we're doing what a month of women, a month of women. So Miss Lloyd, you best believe, and I'm not sure I'm gonna be the first, but I'm gonna be one of the first to ask you to come out and do public speaking because
Well, definitely, will do.
we're gonna bring everybody out to my church to
Okay.
speak on it. Probably we're gonna wait till everybody get back. So probably late September and something like that, early October. We're gonna have all the women come out and speak for my son's foundation. So just get ready. And I don't know. I'm a public speaker. I speak a lot in public. I don't know if that just look out there and pretend everybody's in their underwear. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that works for everybody, but
No, I do have a master's in broadcast journalism, public affairs. I have no problem speaking. I just I haven't been called yet. So if I'm called, I will speak. No
there,
problem.
now, Floyd, next time when you're doing interviews and they having it, you start with I have a master's in that so they can cut that. Had you started with that, I could have just asked you from the beginning. Yeah, you might want to start with that so we ain't got to get into it. I noticed you put that in as the clock is counting down and that wasn't fair, Miss Lloyd. That just wasn't fair. So, young lady, God bless you and the family. We will talk real soon. They're looking at me and they're giving me sign language with Lord. Well, I don't think it's sign language. This one I know, the one with the finger. I'm very aware of that one.
They're
So
giving you the axe, cut
yeah, they
it.
want me to get off. So, God bless you. Hope talk to you real soon. If not on this, I'll see you at my church late September, early October. God bless you,
My
Miss Tom.
pleasure. Thank you.
Amen.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.